Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. This is your host, Debbie. Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. I'm your host, Debbie, and today we have a very special guest here in the studio. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thanks, Debbie. I'm Justine Lisa, and I am the owner of the Carpenter's Daughter, Waco.
Whoop, whoop. We are so glad to have you today.
Thank you.
Bright and early, 9 a.m. on the 21st floor of the Alico building.
Yes.
With that, of course, the first question I asked our new guests on the show is, what brought you to Waco? Tell me your Waco journey.
Yes. So I moved to Waco a little over 5.5 years ago. I actually started my journey at Magnolia.
Wow.
So I have always loved retail.
Mhm.
I love the community that retail can cultivate. And I've loved this idea of merging something both beautiful and also functional. So my heart has always been visual merchandising, which has been working with the product, getting the product on the floor and creating these stories for guests and customers as they're experiencing shopping in a space. So I worked at Anthropologie a long time ago.
Wow, I wish we had an anthropologist.
I mean, same in every corner.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in my hometown. And I just got to that point where I was like, you know what? I'm looking for something new. I'm ready to experience a new town. And I had a friend encourage me, and she said, well, if you wanted to work for anyone else, who would you want to work for? And Magnolia was just one of those brands that I really admired from afar. And I had never been to Texas before.
Wow.
And I kind of applied on a whim. They had an opening for a visual merchandiser at the retail space. And I applied on a whim and did 2 FaceTime interviews, got the job, came to Waco. Again,
I love it.
Sight unseen, had never been before, and just kind of caravan my life here. And I've been here ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And so obviously working there, and now you're here starting your own venture. So what really made you stay here? What was that pull? And what made you decide to open your own business?
Yeah. Small business has been like my heartbeat for so long. And even when I lived back in Virginia, I had worked for a few small businesses, and I just love the fact that you can cultivate such community there. And I know I've said that already once, but it really is true.
Yeah.
You come into a space and you feel like you're at home, and that's something that I knew that if I wanted to start it somewhere, Waco would be a perfect town for that, because everybody is so encouraging, and
We love to hear
people
that.
really want to see small business thrive here. And I fell in love with Waco because of the people. This community really is unlike anything you've ever experienced, and everyone is such a champion for seeing people succeed in their dreams. And there was something about Waco that kept me in. And, you know, I have such a great group of people here that I knew would rally behind me. And even though my family's back on the East Coast, I'm like, I know that I have support from afar, but Waco just felt like one of those places where I'm like, if I'm going to start something, this feels like it's a perfect place to start, because there's so much opportunity and everyone is just so supportive. And so Waco kind of felt like a no-brainer.
I love it.
Yeah. And so I took that leap of faith, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do it here because it's what I know right now. And I know that there is like this craving for small business in Waco too. And that felt really encouraging. Once I started kind of putting feelers out there, people were like, you have to do it. Do it here. And so I'm like, okay, the people are
doing it. Well, I love that. So you just had your grand opening this past week on Friday. And so now your doors are open. You're doing the thing. Tell me what you do. Tell me what the Carpenter's Daughter is.
Yes. So the Carpenter's Daughter is a curation of home goods, ranging from small vintage home goods to stationery and paper. And then I've also added some bath and body and skincare and jewelry. So I really wanted it to be a space where anyone could come in and find something. And I tell people this all the time. I want it to be such a reflection of my heart into people's homes. And there are so many times where you go into a shop or a retail space and you're like, oh, I was looking for something specific, but I didn't find it. I want this space to feel different. And even if you don't find something, I want people to come in and feel so at home and so loved and warm. And I have a big comfy chair. So I'm like, I want people to come and sit and just rest for a while. So even though, yes, it's a retail space, I do want it to feel like home for people. But yeah, it's a little bit of everything for everyone is how I kind of describe it. My hope is that someone will come in and find something that they weren't even expecting to find. So just kind of the thrill of the hunt there.
I love that. Yeah. And so that's amazing. And getting to see that, kind of what was that journey like, getting, from the idea to like actually having your shop together? Yeah.
Well, thankfully, I mean, I've wanted to own my own business for as long as I can remember. Even when I was younger, in my early teens, I had always loved this idea of being a small business owner because of what I've seen in the past. And even my parents growing up, they're both artists. And my dad, being a carpenter, he did such a phenomenal job of cultivating these relationships with his clients that I always admired. So I was like, if I'm a small business owner one day, that's what I want to reflect, is just the way that he treated people. They were more than clients, they were friends. And so the process of me getting to this place was, the last few years, I have dreamed and I have made Pinterest boards and I have done what I needed to financially in order to set myself up for one day being able to say, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go at it really hard. And so even from like, I ended my time at Magnolia last December, and that's when I was like, okay, I really think I want to pursue this dream of owning my own business. And I'm so grateful because even my time at Magnolia facilitated that. That's because amazing. I saw how passionate everybody there was about, pursuing your dreams and doing something that you feel like you're being called to do. And so when I left in December, I'm grateful that the years before I had put all my ducks in a row to get to a place where I'm like, okay, I generally know what kind of product I want to sell. I've been curating this vintage for about a year and a half now. So I have some inventory and it was just kind of finding a retail space because I knew I really wanted it to be brick and mortar. And that once I found that retail space, it was truly like hit the pavement. Magical. Yes, I went so hard and I was like, I know what I want to have in this space. I already kind of knew what I wanted it to look like and what I wanted it to feel like. So I have very creative friends that have helped me get there along the way. So honestly, once I found that space, I really knew what direction I wanted to go in. And that was pretty quick for me, which was great.
I love that. That is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
And of course, now you are open. So where can people come find you? Where are you at?
Yes. So I am located at 116 North 25th Street, which is the best street ever because we have Sloan's and Harvest on 25th. And soon to be coffee shop.
Woo woo! Curbside shout out. We love you.
And I am open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And hopefully in the future that will be extended, but I am a one-woman show right now. So we're going to see how that works for a little bit. And yeah, that's a little bit about the space.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
We will take just a quick commercial break and then we'll be right back. And now for a word from our sponsors.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
Hi, I'm Caroline.
And we have a new podcast for you. What's it called, Caroline?
Bloody Happy Hour.
It's going to be your new favorite guilty pleasure. We're going to talk about some bloody stuff. Serial killers. True crime. Rapists. Why not join us? We'll have a good time.
You literally never know. I don't know what I'm going to say. Bloody Happy Hour. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
And now, back to the episode. And we're back. So we're just talking about your exciting new shop that just opened last week and how people can come and find it. With that, one of the first questions I love to ask when we get back from break is, what is something you love about Waco, and what is something you would like to see more of in Waco?
That's actually kind of a hard question because there really is. So when I moved to Waco, I came from Charlottesville, Virginia, where there were mountains
I was gonna say,
and a lot of green.
A lot of difference.
So when I moved to Waco, I was like, oh, dang.
It's a
There's
little
no
flat.
green, a little bit. But it is just so wild to me how the people have really transformed this place. And that's honestly what has made me stay, is this community here. And again, I've said it so many times, but gosh, this community has really, it's been so palpable that I'm like, there's no way that you can come here and not feel changed, even a little bit, by the people that live here. So I love it here because of that, because of the people, and because everybody is pretty passionate about either what they're doing or what they want to do. And if, you know, they can help you get to where you need to be, they will. And I think that that is such a beautiful thing. So that is what I love the most about Waco. And then one thing that I wish, you know, I, now being a small business owner, I'm like, I love small business. I always have, but we need more of it in Waco. There are a lot of places that are vacant right now or for lease. And, you know, it's such a scary thing to take that leap of faith and do it. But gosh, I would just love to see more businesses popping up and the community really rallying around these dreams that people have to start. But yeah, those I think are my two. Other than, I wouldn't mind if Waco had like a mountain or two.
Just a mountain,
just to hike, or, you know,
we do
see
Cameron
for a little
Park.
You know what? Actually, that's so true. I love Cameron Park because it does make me feel like I'm on the East Coast.
Okay,
for like
gives you
a
a
few
little
hours, a little taste,
I
of
love it.
the outdoors.
Go up Lover's Leap and
Yes.
just look over the water.
You're
And
totally
that's the
right.
highest point.
I
so-
take my words back. I take them all back.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But it is funny because I grew up in the desert. So I grew up actually in West Texas.
Okay.
So moving here, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so green. So many trees, so much water.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you say that, growing up on the coast and then coming here.
Yeah.
But I think that's absolutely beautiful getting to see that. And of course, what has it been like? I know you already talked about your journey, but kind of like, what has it been like being a woman-owned business here in Waco?
You know, my opening day, I think about it, and it's actually kind of emotional. I'm not going to lie. There was a line out the front door on that Friday, and it was all half of the people I knew, half of the people I didn't. And to just see that support was so beautiful. And it's a lot of women who are like, we've wanted something like this. We've been waiting for something like this because, again, I think it's more than just having a retail space. It's about creating this environment that feels really safe and feels really warm. And so even as a woman-owned business, it's been so sweet to see how much support I have from women and men. And, you know, even being able to dream these ideas, everybody is such a champion for me in that sense. So I just love the way that this community just rallies around you and is able to support you in that way. But yeah, gosh, that opening day, that will always stick with me because there was one point where it was so busy on the floor that I couldn't really move around. And I'm like, oh, thank you, God. Like, this is just everything I could have hoped for in an opening day. So I'm excited to see where this goes, but it's also been so encouraging because you sit back and you realize I can do this. And I'm able to do this, and I'm doing it by myself. But the reality is I've never truly been alone. Like, physically, yes, all the finances are in my name, the business is in my name. But the fact that I've had so many hands helping me and the support that I've had just reminds me that I'm not truly alone in it, which is so great.
I love that. And that segues perfectly into my next section. Obviously, shout outs.
Yes.
Let us know who's helped you along this journey. It sounds like it has been an amazing effort. And really, again, just everybody's rallying behind you. And I mean, even when I saw your shop, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to reach out.
Yeah.
So please tell me if there's anybody. Don't forget anybody. They'll be mad.
I know. I'm like racking my brain because it really... Gosh, even from like the littlest things. So the first person I want to shout out is Liz Housewright. And I actually might get emotional.
Aww.
She has been such an anchor for me in this season. She's a dear, dear friend. She built a lot of my bigger fixtures that I wasn't able to do. I mean, I don't have that carpentry skill. And my parents came here right when I signed the lease for a few days, and he was able to build some things. But then once he left, I was like,
what do I do now?
How am I going to get this done? And Liz, she is the most talented, innovative person I know. She jumped in and she was like, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And she really took that on. And when I say anchor, she was an anchor for me. I really don't know how I would have gotten a lot of it through the finish line without her. So Lizzo, bestie, I just love you so much. My friend Dylan Wheeler, he, again, just a friend who would come by the shop all the time and such a force to be reckoned with and such an anchor for me because he was able to hang things for me in concrete walls that I just couldn't do. And he was able to help rewire some lighting because he went to trade school to be an electrician.
Wow.
And so there were things where I saw people's gifts and talents being utilized. And I just love that their handiwork is also woven throughout the shop too.
Aww.
But gosh, Dylan was so incredible because he would text me after he got off of his full-time job and he'd be like, what do you need? And I'd be like, Dylan, I need this hung. And he would come immediately and do it. And I could not be more thankful for that. Austin Wright is a project manager here in town, and Austin was so incredible. He gave me so many contacts and point of contacts when I needed an HVAC guy, when I needed a guy to do some drywall. Like, he was so generous with his time and his resources. And Austin and I actually used to work together at Magnolia. And so it was just so kind and sweet of him to give so much of his time and his resources. And I'm so grateful for that. I want to shout out my accountant, Allie, and my business lawyer, Bob, because they're both just incredible people. And they were so great in answering all of my millions of questions when I first started. And they were so gracious to me. And the last few shout outs, I don't want to make this so long. I could literally sit here for like an hour.
We'd love
my
to see
sweet
it.
friends, Lauren and Lindsay, they were just, again, so supportive throughout this whole process. And they helped me do a lot of unboxing and a lot of pricing. My friend Carrie, my community group that I met through church, gosh, Sam, Julia, Krista, Daniela, I'm sorry if I forgot anyone.
Oh no.
But this is like, I really wish that I could spend like hours just sitting in this gratitude because like, even I hope that you know, like, as I'm saying these names, there's so many.
Yeah.
I like can't
That's
even
the
wrap
problem,
my
yeah.
mind. I'm like, Lauren, Roffer, like all of these people are coming to my mind. I'm like, if I forgot your name, I'm so sorry. But
Just say, and you.
and you, and you know who you are. But I'm just so grateful for the
Yay.
support and these people that really, truly carried me to the finish line. And I would not be where I am without them. And I thank God for that.
I love hearing that. This is amazing. Like, honestly, this is one of my favorite parts because usually people will be like, oh, shout out. And I always joke, I'm like, you can shout out your mom, your dog, or your grandma, you know, like whoever you want to shout out.
Yeah.
But it is so amazing to see that like businesses in our community is built together. And that's what makes us stronger.
Yeah.
And so it's always wonderful getting to like hear being like, oh, the list just keeps going on. I'm like, no, I love it. Yay.
It does. It really does.
It's beautiful to see.
Thank you.
And with that, of course, now where can we find you? How can we support you? Give us your social media, website, all the things.
So I am brick and mortar right now. So I won't have an online shop yet. I'm hoping once I'm no longer a one-woman show that I'll have an online platform. But you can find me on Instagram at The Carpenter's Daughter Waco. And then, of course, come and visit at 116 North 25th. But yeah, those are the two ways to get in touch.
Amazing. We are so excited.
Thank you.
I know we are definitely going to have to come and check it out and see all the fun goodies that you have. But I know you just went and got some new goodies, right? So I'm excited.
Yes, it's great because my opening was so successful and I'm so grateful for that. But I was looking around at my inventory. I'm like, ooh, I got to go to Round Top, maybe find some treasures. So I put a little Gone Treasure Hunting sign out on the front door and like, be back on the 17th. So
Perfect.
yeah, had to do some work.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, we're so glad.
Thank you.
And with that, of course, I want to give you your moment. Shout out anybody. I know you already did that, but if there's anything else you want to share with our listeners today, now's your chance.
Yeah. Again, just thank you to all the people who made the Carpenter's Daughter Waco such a reality. I'm so grateful for that. I forgot to shout out my parents and my
I know,
family, my
It's
sister,
okay.
my brother, all of these people. My two best friends from college actually came on my opening day, and they came with their moms and they helped me run the store. So if I forgot your name, just know that you are so dear to me, and I'm so grateful for your help. But I just want to say a big thank you to Waco and the support that I've had so far in this community. And I'm so excited for what's to come.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm so excited too. Well, thank you so much for your time
Thank
today.
you.
I appreciate you coming all the way over here,
Yes.
up the street,
Yes.
and all the way up to the 21st floor of the Alico
the
building.
most beautiful building ever. I'm obsessed.
And a beautiful view this
Yes,
morning.
yes.
With that, again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And I just hope you the best in all
Thank
your
you.
endeavors, and hope you are so successful in
Oh.
all the things.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Okay, we're done.
Yay.
Find us everywhere and all social media platforms, KNOW_Waco. Check us out at roguemedianetwork.com, and we're on YouTube under Rogue Media Network. Check out nowaco.com.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production. Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.